Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Attack of the Famiclones HD. If you're new, in this series I review, document, and detail all things Famiclones, those being clone systems based around the original hardware designs of Nintendo's Famicom and NES. This series is made possible only through donations, as I've already covered every working Famiclone I own. If you want to see further installments, I need further Famiclones. As I said in a recent update video, I don't run a Patreon. Instead, if viewers want to help me out, I'm always looking for interesting things to review. Not just Famiclones, but controllers, games, gadgets, whatever it is you have to donate. Anyway, RetroZone was kind enough to send me something I had been super stoked about for quite some time, the RetroZone AVS, the Advanced Video System. The Advanced Video System name comes directly borrowed from the original name Nintendo had proposed for the North American version of the Famicom at the Consumer Electronics Show of 1984. A full year before the design was finalized and renamed the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, that everyone and their grandmother is familiar with. The RetroZone AVS is no mere run-of-the-mill Famiclone. Instead of being a reverse-engineered, direct hardware clone based on the numerous flawed Nintendo-on-a-chip, application-specific integrated circuits under epoxy commonly seen in other clones even to this day, the AVS is based on an FPGA, a field program gate array. The FPGA design of the AVS is far more expensive than the NOAC ASICs of other clones, but the advantages are astonishing. Since FPGAs are integrated circuits designed to be programmed as the user sees fit, the RetroZone team was able to exactly copy the entire instruction set of the NES's CPU, the RP2A03. Moreover, they were also able to directly copy the RP2A07, the PAL NES CPU, as well as code in a rudimentary operating system with a few extra features. This means the AVS is capable of running in either NTSC 1.7 MHz mode or PAL 1.66 MHz mode, thus making it compatible with every game ever released for the NES or Famicom worldwide. And that's not all. Because the modern FPGA is light years beyond the 6502 processor of the NES, it can also serve as an integrated picture processing unit, which need not be limited to the RF and composite output of the original system's PPU, the RP2C02, or even analog RGB limitations of the RP2C03, found only in Nintendo Versus and PlayChoice 10 cabinets, as well as the extremely rare Famicom Titler. With the PPU functions built into the FPGA, the RetroZone AVS is capable of natively and cleanly outputting NES games in 720p HD, perfect for today's HD TVs. All this, and I haven't even shown you the system yet, so let's dive in. When you first unbox the AVS, you'll notice that the system comes with an HDMI cable, but no conventional power supply. Rather than provide a slim, modern 5V regulated power supply, RetroZone opted instead to power the AVS with a USB cable with a mini connector. The system comes with a US-style wall adapter as well, but the convenient design means that your console can be powered via the USB port your HDTV likely already has for firmware updates. The other advantage this design offers is the fact that USB is a worldwide standard. If you live in the UK, Europe, or China, it is extremely easy and affordable to supply your own USB to mains adapter if you so need. The system also comes with a manual, of course, but one thing curiously missing from this particular Famiclone is a controller. RetroZone does have a rather great looking wireless controller in development, but no controller ships with the console itself, and as of the recording of this video, you cannot purchase one separately either. That said, the AVS will work with any NES 7-pin controller from the iconic rectangular 004 to the ever-popular Advantage joystick to the much-improved Dogbone-style 039 or any number of other options. The AVS even features the Famicom's DB15 port, so even Famicom third-party controllers are potentially usable if you have any on hand. If you're into Famiclones as I am, chances are you already have a huge stockpile of controllers on hand. But if not, be sure to pick up a controller before you buy an AVS. If you're not sure on what might be worth buying, take a look through previous episodes of one of my other series, the Controller Chronicles. A link to the Controller Chronicles playlist is in the video description. Alright, so with all that out of the way, now let's take a look at the system itself. The first thing you'll notice about the AVS is its rather faithful adherence to Lance Barr's famous NES 001 design. RetroZone clearly wanted to honor the man's iconic work, and they succeeded brilliantly while making several key improvements. On the front of the system is 4 controller ports. 4-player NES games are uncommon, but they do exist, and were designed to make use of Nintendo's 4-player adapters, the 4-score or NES Satellite. Here on the AVS, there is no need to use either as the functionality has been literally built in. On top of the system are the power and reset buttons as well as a red LED power light. The power and reset buttons look and feel almost exactly like those of the NES 001, and the power button even clicks into its on position, just like the original NES hardware. On the back are your power connection, USB output, and DB15 expansion port for Famicom controllers and accessories. As I mentioned before, breaking from tradition, the power supply of the AVS is a standard mini USB cable, capable of being powered from any USB connection, including the one your HD TV probably already has, or if not, you can simply use the included USB to wall socket adapter. The AVS produces video through HDMI only. If you're a gamer who clings to a CRT for dear retro gaming life, you'll need an HDMI to composite adapter to use the system on a standard def TV. Finally, as I mentioned a moment ago, the AVS boasts a DB15 expansion port. If you only know NES gaming and are puzzled by this connection, the original Japanese Famicom had hardwired controllers that were literally built into the system. The DB15 port allowed third-party manufacturers to produce a range of expansion devices from joysticks to controllers, to the Famicom Gun, the Robot Operating Buddy, and even the Famicom Basic Keyboard. With this DB15 port, all of those I just mentioned will work on the AVS, well, except for the light gun, since that technology requires refresh rates only CRT TVs can provide. So now time to dive into the cartridge bay. The cover lifts up just like the hood of an automobile, and just look at that engine. Towards the back of the cartridge bay is a horizontally aligned 72-pin connector for NES games, both NTSC and PAL. The bay is designed for NES games to sit and slide in completely flat without any need for the zero-force insertion connector designed for the actual NES. The connector is fairly snug, but I can still pull NES games out with relative ease. The tightness of the cartridge connector is not nearly as bad as some clones out there, which are known to have what are called death grips. What really catches my interest is, in addition to the 72-pin NES connector, there is also a 60-pin Famicom connector as well. This makes the AVS the only NES system on the market that can truly play any game designed for Nintendo's 8-bit platform worldwide without the need for any special adapter. It might have taken more than 3 decades, but it has finally happened. We now have the perfect NES. So, thanks for watching guys. Be sure to tune in next time for an overview of the software menu and then see various games in action. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be sure to see you guys again in part 2. This is Satoshi Matrix signing off.